Oh my god, I'm gonna get so much hate for this. Hey guys, Spot27 here, and yes, I'm alive, and yes, I'm wearing a wig because I was just going through all my cosplay stuff in my closet, and I wasn't really planning on doing this, but I just had to. I just had to. Yeah, Captain Marvel! I really wanted to like this. I really do. It's just that it was just okay. Like, it wasn't like the worst movie in the MCU. That title goes to Thor: The Dark World. But it's not the best, let alone great. In fact, it's just okay. Like, if I were to rank all the movies, I'd probably put Captain Marvel somewhere in the middle. Maybe lower than that, but yeah, definitely in the middle. Carol Danvers, or in the Kree homeworld, they call her Verse, because of the verse in the dog take that they found. She definitely does have more of a personality in this movie than what was shown in the trailers. There are some traits that you can like about Carol Danvers, but there's also some traits that people might not like that will rub them off the wrong way. For me personally, I thought that she was alright, but she's not the best character overall in this movie. And I can't really judge Brie Larson's acting skills, but I thought that she was okay. I mean, maybe she'll be better in Avengers Endgame with the Russo brothers handling the character, but who knows. But I did like her chemistry dynamic with Nick Fury, played by Samuel L. Jackson, which, of course, as always, Nick Fury was great. I mean, it's Samuel L. Jackson, what did you expect? He did a good job playing a much younger, more naive, less cynical Nick Fury, and the CGI on his face to make him look younger was actually pretty spot on. Honestly, he's like one of the two people who was really good in this movie. The other one was actually Talos, played by Ben Mendelsohn. Talos has like some really good moments in the movie. He does a really good job, especially when he disguised himself as, I don't know what his name was in the movie, but he was Nick Fury's boss. He did a good job with that, yeah. Jude Law as Jan Rog, well, I thought he was good. Definitely a bit different compared to his comic book counterpart, but it was still good nonetheless. Lashana Lynch as Maria Rambeau. I thought she was good as the character. Annette Bening as the Supreme Intelligence. She was alright. I did like the concept that they used, that the Supreme Intelligence only appears to someone that a Kree knows, so that you don't, like, see the AI's true form, unless you've seen Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, or if you've read the comics, because the Supreme Intelligence is actually just a giant head. Coulson! Got to see young Coulson, which was cool, because I like Coulson. It was cool seeing him again. He wasn't around a lot in this movie, which is kind of a bummer, because, like, I thought he was gonna have, like, a important part to play, but not really, but it was cool seeing Coulson. Let's see, is there anyone else? Oh yeah, Korath! Korath's in this movie, and so is Ronan the Accuser. Cool, I guess, but frankly, I don't see what the point is of having Ronan being in this movie, aside from, like, having a huge threat for Carol to take on so that she can show off her full powers when she's unleashed them, or some shit like that. I don't know if it's just me, or did he act kind of different compared to Guardians of the Galaxy? Then again, I mean, it's been like over 20 years since Guardians of the Galaxy, so he's a much more younger Ronan the Accuser, but I just preferred him in Guardians of the Galaxy, sorry. Korath? He was okay, I guess. Actually, now that I think about it, there's also one thing that always bugged me about this. Korath in the comics, he's a blue-skinned Kree, but in the movies, he's black. I thought the Kree only comes in like 2 different skin colors. Like, one is the blue-skinned Kree, and the other one's the pink-skinned Kree, the one that actually looks more human-like. So, why is Korath black? Unless Korath in this movie isn't really a Kree, but I guess it doesn't really matter. I mean, he dies in Guardians of the Galaxy anyway, so whatever. The first couple of scenes before Carol ends up on Earth were pretty cool. I mean, I did like seeing Hala, the capital planet of the Kree Empire, and seeing Star Force's rescue mission in, what was it, Torfa? Yeah. Those were pretty cool, but we never actually dwelled more into them. I thought we would explore more of Hala and see more of the Kree, you know, like learn a little bit more about the Kree-Skrull War, which we technically do in this movie, but I don't know, I kind of feel like that there's actually a lot more to it. In this movie, Carol has lived as Veers for like 6 years, so you'd think we would see more of what her life was like working and living with the Kree. Like, you'd think that like for 6 years she would gain like a lot of emotional attachment to this planet and to its people. Like when she finally regains her memories, like she just doesn't care. Like no emotional attachment in a way, aside from anger in a way with Jan Rog, which I guess is understandable, but I don't know, I just felt like they should have like given us a little bit more to gain more of an emotional attachment for Carol with the Kree, but I guess not. A lot of 90s references, which I did like, you know, Blockbuster, Radio Shack, dial-up internet. A couple of the music choices I didn't really have a problem with, except for one, which is like near the climax. After Carol breaks out of from the Supreme Intelligence and removes her inhibitor that was like limiting her powers, she finally gains her full potential of her abilities, and she fights her former comrades, which you'd think that it would be more of a big deal, but I guess not, because I mean, like, Carol doesn't care anymore. While the fight scene was going on, I'm Just a Girl by No Doubt was playing, and it just felt out of place. Like, why? I mean, it feels like this movie is trying to be like Guardians of the Galaxy or Thor Ragnarok, but those two movies established the kind of tone what their movie was going for, so their choices of music was completely understandable. Hell, Iron Man 1 and 2 with all of the AC/DC songs that were playing, it totally fits! But I'm Just a Girl playing while Carol is fighting Star Force and all these Kree, it just didn't fit. Like, why? I guess it was just to like establish more of that feminist message, I guess, but it's just, you're just pushing it. You're just pushing it, movie. We get told a lot about Carol's past through flashbacks or from what other people have told her when she's like trying to learn more about her past. They keep adding a lot of like guys being all sexist to Carol, like, what was it? There's a reason why it's called The Cockpit. I get why we had to learn about her past of who Carol Danvers really is, because we have to like know this character. We have to like understand her. I kind of did, but it's just that like I feel like I know a portion of it. I feel like that there is a lot more to her past than what was shown in the movie, which I'm pretty sure they go more into detail in the comics. So like, I don't know, I guess I was kind of expecting to like see more of her past, more specifically when she was working as a test pilot with Lawson, who I will get to later. So might as well just bring this up since we're in spoiler territory. The twist that was like about halfway into the movie. So the movie established that the Skrulls were shape-shifting aliens that infiltrate planets and invade them and take over them. And the Kree, they're this alien empire that are supposed to be like the good guys that fight the Skrulls and try to save planets. Turns out, no, that's not the case. The Skrulls were actually just refugees. Apparently they refused to give in to the Kree, so they rebelled. Their home planet was destroyed, so they've been like trying to escape the Kree and trying to find a new home. So this whole time, Talos was actually a good guy. So yeah, that twist was not what I expected, because in the comics, the Skrulls were always established to be main antagonists to, more specifically, the Avengers and even to the Fantastic Four. They were always portrayed as the bad guys. And then again, so were the Kree in a way. It's like they're both asshole aliens, with the exception of few that are actually good from both sides, but when you think about it, it's like trying to pick which is like the lesser of the two evils. But no, in this movie, the Skrulls are good and the Kree are actually bad. So yeah, that was like an interesting twist in the movie, which I did like. However, it's questionable in a way, because ever since they introduced the Skrulls in the MCU, there has been speculation that they might do the Secret Invasion storyline. But since they established that the Skrulls are actually not evil, then I guess that would mean that there would be no Secret Invasion? But I can still see the Secret Invasion storyline happening in a way because this is just a portion of the Skrulls. This isn't like the entire Skrull race. I bet that there are a bunch of others that probably are more evil than the ones that we got in this movie. And they're probably the ones that also hate the humans, so maybe there's still a chance that Secret Invasion can still happen. It's just not with the Skrulls that we're seeing in this movie, it's just with probably a different group of Skrulls. I mean, this has a bigger chance of actually happening than seeing the real Mandarin and the 10 Rings. No, I am not letting that go. That plot twist was bullshit in Iron Man 3. I did appreciate the one shot, but what's the point if we're never gonna see the actual Mandarin or the 10 Rings ever again? Okay, I'm done with that. So it was established that Talos, along with other Skrulls, were working with a double agent from the Kree who was working on this lightspeed engine to help them escape from the Kree and to find a new home, which was revealed to be Mar-Vell. Yes, Mar-Vell is in the movie. For those who don't know, Mar-Vell is the original Captain Marvel in the comics. He was sent to Earth to spy on the humans to see whether they were a threat to the Kree or not. But in time, he started to actually like care for the humans, and he started becoming a hero. Hence, he became Captain Marvel. By the way, the death of Captain Marvel, I read that. It's a really good story. I highly recommend it. It really does hit you in the feels. But here's the thing! Since they established that Mar-Vell is in the movie, he's not the previous Captain Marvel, technically. In the movie, Mar-Vell, who went by Walter Lawson, is actually Wendy Lawson, played by Annette Bening. So that explains why the Supreme Intelligence looks like Annette Bening. Mar-Vell in the movie is a woman. Why though? Why? I mean, cool, you got Mar-Vell in the movie, but you made him a woman? Why though? From what I've seen in the movie, it could have worked just the same if Mar-Vell was a man. In fact, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with seeing a male character mentoring a female. So, like, why the change? I mean, granted, this isn't like the first time that the MCU has done this before. I mean, Ghost, for example, from Ant-Man and the Wasp. Ghost was female in the movie, but in the comics, Ghost was male. And of course, there is the Ancient One in Doctor Strange, who is male in the comics, but is female in the movie. And then again, I'm always the kind of person that questions why a character that was originally established to be this was changed into that, because it didn't really make sense to me. So the lightspeed engine that I mentioned, Mar-Vell was working on that to help the Skrulls, and that was actually the result of Project Pegasus. Now, if you recall in Iron Man 2, in this one deleted scene when Tony Stark tells Jarvis to look up 3 projects when he was like trying to make that new element for his arc reactor, he mentions Project Pegasus, Goliath, and Exodus. Now, Goliath was already established in Ant-Man and the Wasp. It was the project that Bill Foster, aka Goliath in the comics, and Hank Pym were working on, which was, in a nutshell, like how to grow really big. So yeah, we know what Goliath is, and now we know what Project Pegasus is, making that light speed engine. So I guess all that's left now is to find out what Project Exodus is. It turns out that Carol was actually a test pilot for the project, along with Maria Rambeau. Carol was chosen to test the prototype, but she and Mar-Vell got ambushed by Yon-Rogg, which, yeah, surprise twist, Yon-Rogg's the bad guy. Not really much of a twist, I mean, it's kind of obvious. Anyway, they crash, and Mar-Vell reveals herself to be Kree to Carol, and she tells her that they gotta destroy the engine because she doesn't want it to fall into the hands of the Kree. But she gets shot by Yon-Rogg, so yeah, that's how Mar-Vell dies, which sucks. I mean, I kind of feel like they did Mar-Vell dirty. I don't know. I guess it's probably just me. Then again, in the comics, he died of cancer, which was sad, but I don't know. When I saw her get shot by Yon-Rogg, I was like, oh man. So yeah, it was kind of a bummer. So Carol destroys the engine before Yon-Rogg could do anything. It caused that big explosion that we saw in the trailers. All this blue energy like flew at her, and she was able to absorb it. and that caused her to lose her memories. So yeah, that explains how she got her powers. In case you're wondering why she has Kree blood, that's because she got a blood transfusion with Yonrog's blood, so that's why she's Kree, kinda, sorta. I mean, I think in the comics, like, yeah, there was an explosion that she gets caught in, but the explosion, like, altered her DNA to have, like, Kree DNA. So, like, I don't know if that's the same in the movie, but I think I think they changed it. So since Carol learned the truth, she helps Talos find Mar-Vell's secret laboratory, which was hidden in Earth's orbit. Maria and Nick also come along, as well as Goose the cat, which, oh, I haven't talked about Goose. I'll admit, I like Goose. I thought she was cool. Goose is a Flurkin, which, by the way, in the comics, she's called Chewie. Flurkin is this alien that looks like a cat, but has, like, tentacles that come out of its mouth, and it can eat people, and can store stuff inside their bodies because they have pocket dimensions or some shit like that. Oh, and they're supposed to be, like, really highly dangerous, which was why Talos was, like, really scared of the cat, which I thought was pretty funny. Anyway, they find Mar-Vell's laboratory, which turns out is where the rest of the Skrulls were hidden. So yeah, they've been hidden in that lab for like 6 years. I really hope that they had like plenty of food to last for 6 years. I think they did. Talos gets to reunite with his family, his wife and daughter, which I thought was like really sweet. I'm getting off topic, aren't I? Anyway, yeah, they find the source of energy, which Mar-Vell was using to make the Lightspeed engine, and guess what? It's the Tesseract! Yes, we get to see the Tesseract again. How Mar-Vell got her hands on the Tesseract? I mean, I was definitely confused at first because I was like, wait, how did she get that when Howard Stark had it? So I had to like look it up and I had to like think carefully of what I knew so far of the MCU timeline that involved with the Tesseract. So here's what I know so far and from what I gathered from researching about it. Okay, so someone created the Tesseract to contain the Space Stone, probably some sort of cosmic being, but we don't know. Odin eventually got his hands on it, and for some reason he decided to leave it on Earth, more specifically in Norway. Cut to World War II, where Red Skull found it, and he tried to use it to create enhanced weapons for Hydra. Then during the climax of Captain America: The First Avenger, he got his hands on it to try to control the Tesseract, but he couldn't do it, and there was a big beam of light portal that teleported him to Vormir. That's how he became the guardian of the Soul Stone. So yeah, Howard Stark was trying to find Captain America, but he found the Tesseract. He studied it, plus, you know, he's also the founder of S.H.I.E.L.D., so he was working with the military and the government. So what I think is that, like, Mar-Vell was recruited to work on Project Pegasus. Maybe she was the one that came up with the idea. Or maybe it was Howard Stark or someone else from higher up that thought of the idea to make a Lightspeed engine. I don't know. But she was definitely recruited to work on Project Pegasus, so she probably had to, like, gain the approval of Howard Stark or someone else so that, like, she has access to the Tesseract to work on Project Pegasus. So that's probably how she got her hands on it. She hid the Tesseract in her secret lab. Goose ate the Tesseract, keeping it safe. In the post-credit scene, Goose, like, barfs it out on Nick's desk, so that's how Nick Fury got his hands on the Tesseract, which explains the beginning parts of Avengers movie, the first one. So, like, he was trying to use it to create weapons to help defend Earth against alien invasions. But then Loki shows up, which they confirmed, by the way, that he was manipulated by the Mind Stone from Thanos, but whatever. Yeah, he eventually got his hands on the Tesseract. He created a portal for the Chitauri to go down to New York and attack it. The Avengers assembled. They defeat Loki. They defeat the Chitauri. They close the portal. Then Thor takes Loki and the Tesseract back to Asgard, and then cut to Thor Ragnarok when Loki was trying to get the skull thing from Surtur, I think that was his name or whatever. He stumbles upon the Tesseract, he takes it, he escapes Asgard when Ragnarok was happening, along with Thor, Hulk, Valkyrie, Korg, Meek, and Heimdall, and the remaining Asgardians. Then Thanos shows up, attacks everybody, and Loki had to give Thanos the Tesseract in order to spare Thor's life. And that's how Thanos got the Space Stone. Okay, boom, done. I think I got it. That's everything, I think. If I missed anything, please let me know in the comments below. So, yeah, that's my theory of how Marvel got her hands on the Tesseract. So, yeah. I guess this brings up also another thing that bugs me about this movie and what the MCU is trying to tell us. According to Kevin Feige, he said that Captain Marvel is the most powerful superhero in the MCU. She's strong. That's true. But she's only been in one movie. We've seen a bunch of characters, a bunch of really cool superheroes that we've gotten to know and love in a bunch of movies. We've gotten to know them much longer. Just because Feige claims that she's the most powerful in the MCU, that doesn't mean that she's a good character. Like, I've seen characters that I've actually gotten myself attached to, that I've actually seen their journey to become the hero that we all know. Captain Marvel, again, one movie. It's not enough for me to actually, like, attach myself to her. She's strong, yes, but at the end of the day, she's still the same character as she was at the beginning. I mean, there was this whole spiel about her, like, controlling her emotions, but yet she still acts the same as she does as always. And in fact, like, how she, like, overcomes the Supreme Intelligence is, like, she just powers up and then removes the inhibitor, or the limiter or whatever, from her neck, and then boom, she's super strong. Cool. Okay, I see the potential in Captain Marvel. I really do. I feel like that she still needs more time to grow as a true hero, as someone that we can actually attach ourselves to. Because right now, I can't bring myself to attach to her, especially when everybody's saying that she's the most powerful, even though she's only gotten one movie. Here's another hero, Doctor Strange. We've seen him in one movie and in one cameo in Thor Ragnarok, before he starred in Avengers Infinity War. But in his movie, we were actually sold on his character. We've seen him train and work hard on mastering the mystic arts. We've seen him grow to become the Sorcerer Supreme. And it's not just because of how powerful he was, it's just because of the growth and the journey that we've seen him take. Captain Marvel, in her own movie, has shown that she's always going to be strong no matter what, but I'm sorry, it's kind of like hard to like put this in words. It's just like, I felt like we've seen heroes earn the right to be the heroes that we know. Captain Marvel still hasn't earned that, at least not for me. I feel like I'm gonna need like another movie featuring her, or at least another cameo, before I can even like genuinely like her as a hero. Just because a character is really, really powerful, that's not all it takes to make that character a good character. I'm really sorry. I want to like this. I really do. It's just, I just can't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The final showdown between her and Yanrog, where she just like blasts him, I thought that was actually kind of funny. But I really thought that they were gonna do like a hand-to-hand combat fight scene, because then that would show that like Carol has surpassed Yanrog in a way, but no, I guess not. Oh, there's also another thing I also want to point out. It was never established that Carol Danvers knew how to fly, but like once she got that inhibitor removed and when she was like falling down to the earth, all she did, she was able to like know how to fly suddenly. Like, she just falls and then she just stays still, closes her eyes, and it just opens them, powers up, and then boom, she knows how to fly all of a sudden. God damn, she really is a Dragon Ball Z character. Oh yeah, Ronan, the accuser. I did mention that he was there to like pose like a big threat. Yeah, he was called in by Yanrog to like launch a bunch of missiles or something to eradicate the Skrulls or some shit. But Carol destroys all of them, and then she destroys one of the ships, and then Ronan sees this and he's like, oh shit, we should probably go. But then he says that they'll come back, but not for the Tesseract or for the Skrulls, but for her. That definitely established that something cool happened between Captain Marvel and Iron Man 1, which maybe we'll get to see more of that in the sequel if they are going to make a Captain Marvel 2, which most likely. Carol decides to go help the Skrulls to find a new home. She gives Nick the pager, and she tells him to message her if it's like a really, really big emergency, and she just flies off into space to help the Skrulls, and that's pretty much it. Oh wait, I forgot to talk about the two things in the movie that really, like, annoyed the hell out of me. You know all those jokes about, oh, I bet Nick Fury is gonna lose his eye because of that cat. Yeah, it was because of that one scene in the trailer. We were all joking, and I thought that was pretty funny as a joke. No, turns out that's how he really did lose his eye. A cat alien thing scratched him because he was all being, who's a cute little kitty? And that pissed off Goose, and that caused her to scratch his eye. Are you freaking kidding me? Marvel, we were joking. We were joking. We didn't think you would take that seriously, but no, you did. Oh, God. I should probably tell you this, that Captain America, the Winter Soldier, was one of my favorite MCU movies. So you can understand why I'm a little bit pissed off about that. Because thanks to Captain Marvel, it ruins not one, but two cool scenes from Nick Fury. Oh my God, why? The first scene. It was when Steve Rogers, Captain America, confronts Nick Fury. Steve was like, soldiers trust each other. That's what makes it an army, or something like that. And then Nick was all like, last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye. You think that some serious shit went down in Nick Fury's life? You think that, like a former comrade betrayed him to the enemy, and that's how he lost his eye. Maybe he got tortured by the enemy. Or maybe a mission gone wrong, and that's how he lost his eye. No, it was a fucking cat! I yelled that really big. Wow. Yeah, I know it's a flurkin. I know it's a very dangerous alien. But whether it was a dangerous man-eating alien or a cat, it's still stupid how he lost his eye. Oh, right. Also, the second scene, it was when Nick Fury shows up and confronts Pierce, I think that was his name. He says this like one cool badass line to Pierce, and he was like, I think it went something like this. But if you want to try to get ahead of me or something like that, he pulls out his eye patch, you see his scarred eye, he's like, you gotta keep both eyes open. That was badass. Honestly, if I was Pierce, I would have pissed my pants. But those cool scenes that established something really awesome, something badass, is now ruined thanks to Captain Marvel. If I'm gonna be watching The Winter Soldier again, right after I've seen Captain Marvel, I'm not gonna take those scenes seriously anymore because I know, yeah, you got your eye scratched by a cat alien thing. Also, you wanna tell me that the person that he was referring to when he said, last time I trust someone I lost an eye, was a goddamn flurkin? Well, thanks a lot, Captain Marvel. Thanks a freaking lot for making those two scenes now a joke. Oh, right, and this other thing that kind of annoyed me. Due to the events of Captain Marvel, Nick Fury decides to create the Avengers Initiative. He wants to gather a bunch of heroes to help defend Earth, become Earth's mightiest heroes. He was trying to come up with the name, but he sees a photo of Carol Danvers with her jet, and it has her call sign on it, Avenger. And then you have the Avengers theme playing during that scene, like dun 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 dun, and end of the movie. Okay, I can buy the fact that the events of Captain Marvel being the reason why Nick Fury creates the Avengers Initiative, but you mean to tell me because of Carol's call sign that he sees in the photo is how he came up with the name? Why was that necessary? I mean, yeah, sure, inspiration can come to us in any way, shape, and form, but you mean to tell me that the reason why the Avengers are called the Avengers was because of Carol's call sign on the freaking jet? Because she was called Avenger? Okay, Marvel, I know you're trying to establish her as an important character, but she hasn't earned that yet. She hasn't earned that. And also that kind of ruins the title of Captain America, the First Avenger, because we always thought Captain America, Steve Rogers, was the first Avenger. Well, he's definitely the first superhero, But then what's the point of calling that movie The First Avenger when Carol Danvers was called Avenger? Also, this does raise some questions thinking about it, but Nick Fury did have the pager, so like when the Chitauri invaded New York, he could have called up Captain Marvel. So why didn't he do that? Well, I think it's because he had faith in the Avengers. He thought that the Avengers could handle it. But then, what if the Avengers failed? Like, what if the Chitauri won? What if Loki won? Like, then a lot of people would have died. A lot more would have died than what happened in the first Avengers movie. So speaking of Avengers, in that one scene when Black Widow was talking to Hawkeye after he got out of that mind control from Loki, she told him that they weren't prepared for this. They weren't prepared for aliens, yet even though Nick Fury has seen aliens, has witnessed them, has fought against them, but yet in Avengers, S.H.I.E.L.D., Black Widow, nobody else they were prepared for, the Chitauri, for Loki, they weren't. Like, seriously, Nick, you didn't prepare S.H.I.E.L.D. for that, even though you did witness aliens? Okay, also, there was the other time when Nick tells them that, yeah, he used a Tesseract to create weapons to help defend Earth. And then he points at Thor, referring to the first Thor movie when Thor fought against that destroyer thing. So you'd think it was because he was saying of, like, he was referring to, like, what happened in Thor. But no! That wouldn't make sense because, again, he has encountered aliens back in the 90s. So you'd think with him now being head of S.H.I.E.L.D., they would be prepared more or something. But I guess that explains like why he was like trying to create weapons against aliens by using the Tesseract or something. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit confused. Maybe you guys can clear it up in the comments below or something. So yeah, there's that bit of inconsistency. Or maybe like, or maybe it's because, around that time Hydra infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D. So, I mean, he shouldn't have been like, giving away too much information, but that would technically make Nick Fury not only a liar, but also a dick. You'd think that he would prepare more about aliens with S.H.I.E.L.D. and everybody else, but no. Okay, I gotta be honest here, like, Captain Marvel, this movie should have come out earlier. If this was done in an earlier phase, then that would give us at least more time to learn more about her. But no, I guess not, because like they gotta like push Captain Marvel now because she's gonna be in Endgame. And look, I am all for like female-led superhero movies. I mean, we've gotten Wonder Woman, which was really good, and I gotta say it's actually much better than Captain Marvel. But why did we get Captain Marvel first and not Black Widow? I mean, Black Widow has been around since Iron Man 2, way longer than Captain Marvel, so why couldn't we have gotten a Black Widow solo movie first instead of Captain Marvel? Like, we're gonna get it soon in a few years, but like, why couldn't it have been earlier? I would have been totally okay with, because we've known Black Widow for quite longer than Captain Marvel. We could have seen her time at the Red Room, or what happened in frickin' Budapest, or the Children's Ward, all those missions she went on, the time that she meets Hawkeye for the first time, or meets Nick Fury for the first time, or that one mission she mentioned in Winter Soldier where she actually confronts the Winter Soldier, aka Bucky Barnes. There's like so much we could have seen with Black Widow in her own solo movie, but no, instead we get Carol Danvers, a character that they introduced like about a year ago, I'd have to say, because that post-credit scene, and she gets her own movie, just one movie before Endgame, and yet Black Widow does it. It doesn't seem right. I felt like Black Widow was done dirty. Like, she should have gotten her own solo movie first. But whatever, what's done is done. I should probably establish this too. Captain Marvel at the end, as I said before, she goes off to help the Skrulls find a new home, but she's also, from what I can tell, is going to end the Kree-Skrull War. So she's gonna fight against the Kree, and I guess that's been going on for over 20 years. which probably would explain like why we haven't seen her. And I guess like all her adventures probably happened in a different part of the galaxy, which is probably why she was actually never foreshadowed or mentioned in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies or something, I guess. Then again, I think like around the time Guardians of the Galaxy came out and when we saw Ronan the Accuser, maybe like all the Kree have been scattered or something. I don't know. I mean, we still don't know what happened to the Kree now. Or the Supreme Intelligence. I mean, they're still alive. They're still out there. So I guess Captain Marvel became a one-woman army to fight against the Kree. Also recruiting a couple more aliens, including the Skrulls, to rebel against them. Oh, right. The post-credit scenes. I already did mention about Ghost barfing out the Tesseract. Oh, the mid-credit scene. So in the scene, we see Steve Rogers, who still has his beard, by the way, and Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow, looking at the death count going up and up and up. You know, the snap is still going, which I thought it was gonna stop, but no, it's just the death toll just keeps going up and up and up. Steve's like, this is a nightmare, and Black Widow's like, I've had better nightmares, or something like that. Like, they're freaking devastated over what they were seeing. We see Rhodey, War Machine, calling Natasha and Steve to come with him, and then we see Bruce Banner. Rhodey and Bruce show Natasha and Steve the pager that Nick Fury had at the end of Avengers Infinity War. So yeah, they found Nick's pager, which is weird because I like how did they find it? I guess it must have had like a tracker or something when they were trying to find Nick Fury or something, and they stumbled upon it and they saw the signal, and they kept like the pager on to see like who's at the receiving end because they know that it's really important. But the pager stops and they're gonna like try to like get the pager running again. But when Natasha turns around, you see Captain Marvel with longer hair and I think a different Captain Marvel outfit, and she's like, "Where's Fury?" And that's pretty much it. So yeah, that's how Captain Marvel is gonna enter into Avengers Endgame. Which honestly, that scene just feels like it's an actual scene of the movie. But yeah, that's how Captain Marvel will return in Avengers Endgame. Oh my god, I've been rambling on for so long. So yeah, you guys probably know my overall thoughts of the movie. I see great potential in this movie. I see what they're trying to do. I just feel like that it could have been better. Hopefully, I will like Carol Danvers in Avengers Endgame, and if they do plan to make a sequel, maybe I might like her there too. I mean, after all, it's the Russo brothers, so they haven't done much wrong in the MCU. I mean, they made Black Panther way more badass in Civil War than his own solo movie. Don't get me wrong, I like Black Panther, it's just that like he was way more badass in Civil War than he was in Black Panther, I'm just saying. So if the Russo brothers do a good job with Carol, then that kind of confirms that it was the writing and the directing of her character that was the problem. Also, since she's gonna be part of the team, that means she's the only one alive that has the power of an Infinity Stone, even if it's a portion of the power. Okay, because she has a portion of the Space Stone's power, that's how she got her powers, and again, they're claiming that she's the most powerful hero. So I guess since it's because the Space Stone has like an unlimited source of energy, that makes the Space Stone the most powerful out of all the Infinity Stones. But what does that explain for the other heroes? Like, Scarlet Witch got her powers from the Mind Stone that was in Loki's scepter. Vision was an android that had the Mind Stone, the actual thing itself, on his forehead. I think they were kind of like nerfed in the MCU, which is unfortunate. Stephen Strange had the Eye of Agamotto that contained the Time Stone, which he was able to use to control time and to use some of his magic. Peter Quill, Star-Lord, a half-celestial, tried to endure the power from the Power Stone in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie. And that power had to be distributed not only from him, but also from the other Guardians to withstand its power. So we've established that there are a lot of strong characters in the MCU. Hell, Thor, he took a dying star to the back in Infinity War. That's freaking powerful. And I'm supposed to believe that Carol is the most powerful of them all just because her powers came from the portion of the Space Stone. It's just really hard for me to buy it after all the heroes that I've seen so far, but okay, whatever. So yeah, I might as well just end it right now. So, if you've seen the movie, tell me guys, what did you think about it? Did you like it? Did you hate it? What did you think of Carol Danvers? What did you think of the movie as a whole? And hey, on the plus side, there's still Avengers Endgame, so that's something to look forward to. I mean, I'm still hyped to see it because, oh man, I can't wait. Yeah. So, with that being said, I'm going to subscribe to 27, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.